Hello, awesome Wolfpack and students and future leaders. My name is Joaquin Rodriguez, and today I'm here to talk to you about a little bit what I do, and hopefully what I tell you today will help you with your future endeavors. So right now, I am a prosecutor with the Webb County District Attorney's Office. I have been a prosecutor for 7 years now, but before that time, I was in school for a very long time. So I want you to think about it. You did 4 years of high school. You have to do another 4 years of college and an additional 3 years of law school in order to become a licensed attorney here in Texas. So right after high school, that's exactly what I did. Went to school and learned more. I know for some of you it may seem like a lot of work, and it is, but I guarantee you that it is worth it. So just a little bit about myself. I'm from Laredo. This is my hometown. I graduated from Nixon High School in 2005. I went to the University of Texas at San Antonio, transferred to the University of the Incarnate Word, where I received my bachelor's in political science with a minor degree in philosophy. Once I graduated from Incarnate Word in 2010, I attended Texas Tech School of Law in Lubbock, Texas, where it was really cold. Okay, was there for 3 years, and then after that time, graduated, took my bar exam. By the way, it's a 15-hour exam that you need to take in order to become a lawyer in Texas. And right after I got my bar results, Mr. Isidro Alanis hired me to be one of his assistant district attorneys. And since 2013, that's what I've been doing. I'm a prosecutor. Now, what is a prosecutor? You know, for some of you that watch crime shows, you pretty much know what I do. It's not that exciting as it is on TV, I can assure you. However, what I do is important, and I really enjoy what I do. And I was only able to do that because I got an education. So what is a prosecutor? Well, when someone gets arrested, do they just lock someone up and throw away the key? No, they don't. If a person is charged with a crime, then it is my job to present evidence to a jury so that they are able to find a person guilty. That's my job. I represent the state of Texas. So if anyone commits a crime in the state of Texas, it's my job to gather as much evidence as I can, present that evidence, and hopefully it is enough for a conviction where they're found guilty, and then they are punished and may be sentenced to prison or some form of punishment. That's what I do. Now, I've already explained to you my education, and it's a lot of hard work. But I promise you that it is worth it. Nothing in this world that is worthwhile will ever be easy. And a lot of times, guys, there's no shortcuts to achieving your goals. So, when did I want to become a lawyer? I wanted to become a lawyer for a long time. And you want to know what my inspiration was? It was movies. Some of you may be too young to understand or know about these movies, but for the teachers that are watching this little video, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. My Cousin Vinny and A Few Good Men. Great movies. Those movies were released when I was about 7 or 8 years old. And it was at that time that I decided that's what I wanted to do. Now, how did I decide? Well, I figured out what I liked. And that's something that I want for each and every one of you. I want you to figure out what you like doing and try your best to be good at that. So for me, it was public speaking. I enjoy public speaking very much because I like connecting with people. And then, you know, for most of us that enter the profession of law, we like to argue a little bit. So I found out that I like public speaking. I like to be a little argumentative. And then I also found out that I wanted to help people. When I was in college, I always knew that I wanted to come back to my community and serve the people of my community. If I could leave Laredo, go to school, and come back, I was hopeful that I could use my education to serve the people of Webb County and to serve the people of Laredo. And I hope that when you all graduate high school and you go off to college, you come back to the city of Laredo and give back to the community that has shaped you. Now, some of my responsibilities in this job, well, I'm in an office most of the time. Before the pandemic, before coronavirus, I was in court all the time, going before a judge, making sure that my cases are being, worked on appropriately. And one of my favorite parts of my job is going to trial. For you athletes that are watching, I'm sure you all get excited for game day. Trial is my game day. I enjoy it. And for those of you that are in sports, you understand that when you are going to participate in a competition, it's all about your preparation. It's all about practicing the way you play. Perfect practice or 100% effort in practice is going to make you better on game day. And that's what I and my colleagues do. We prepare. We make sure that our presentation is, professional, that it's, we make sure that our presentation is as flawless as possible so that we can be as most convincing to a jury, because that's what we do. We have to try to convince a jury that someone is guilty. Okay? Now, is the job stressful? It can be. It can be. There are times when people are depending on us to give them justice. It's not the easiest thing in the world to go to a victim, someone who was a victim of a crime, and have to tell them that, a jury found the defendant guilty, the person that hurt them, or that the jury found them not guilty. We want to ensure that victims, especially victims of violent crime, receive justice. And how do we do that? We make sure that we secure a conviction, someone is found guilty, and that person is punished. I mean, think of it this way. Would you feel good if the person that wronged you got away with it scot-free? Yeah, that doesn't feel very good. So a lot of times we have pressure to produce. We have pressure to make sure that people who commit crimes are brought to justice. Now, again, with the stress, with the responsibility that I as a prosecutor and my colleagues, what we have to deal with, even though it can be a stressful job sometimes, it's something that I enjoy doing. Now, why do I keep on saying that? Something I like to do, it's part of my job. I say those things because for most of us, unless you're born incredibly wealthy, you're going to have to work for the rest of your life. If you're going to have to work for the rest of your life, wouldn't you want to choose a profession that you actually enjoy? That leads me to the differences between a job and a career. A job is something that, you do in order to make some sort of living. Sometimes that job is pretty temporary. I mean, I had jobs. When I was in college, I worked at Blockbuster. Some of you may be too young to know what a Blockbuster is. It's a place where you rented videos. Think of Redbox, but it was a building, not just an outside box. I worked at a driving range. I worked at Express, the clothing store in San Antonio. Okay, I had jobs. Did I like those jobs? They were okay, but it wasn't something that I saw myself doing for a long period of time. It wasn't something that I saw myself doing for the rest of my life. And my father was very clear, you're going to have to work for the rest of your life. So I chose something that I like doing, something where I could utilize my strengths and something I wouldn't get tired of doing. And I tell you, from 7 years of being a prosecutor, I am not tired of it at all. I enjoy it. So a career, how is that different from a career? Well, a career is something that you actually take pride in. It's something that you can see yourself doing for a long period of time. And one of the things I like about my profession is I have longevity. I can do this career. I can be a lawyer till I'm in my 70s, and it's not uncommon. We see lawyers in our profession that are in their 70s, maybe even pushing 80. As long as the mind is still sharp, you're able to practice law. And again, I've only been doing it for 7 years. I've only been practicing law and being a prosecutor for 7 years, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. Every day I get out of bed in the morning and I enjoy what I do. Yeah, there's sometimes when I'm really tired and I don't feel like going to work, but it's not because I don't like my job. It's because some of the toll that the job takes on you. But I enjoy it. And if you enjoy what you do, it's like you're not having to work. Think of it this way. For those of you who like playing Xbox, imagine if someone paid you so much money a year to play Xbox. I mean, that would be a pretty cool life, right? It would, because you enjoy what you do. It doesn't feel like work because it's something that you enjoy. So I want you guys to understand something. If you're going to have to work for the rest of your life, make sure it's something that you like doing. Okay? So how do you get there? How do you get there? Well, it takes a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. Like I said, after high school, I went to school for an additional 7 to 8 years. Okay? I spent the majority of my 20s, the time where you're supposed to be having fun, I spent most of that time with my head in a book. So, know that there are no shortcuts. You're going to have to work hard, and you might have to persevere a little bit. That means dealing with adversity. Now, what kind of adversity? Well, failure. Being able to deal with failure. And there's a common misconception. People think that I'm a failure if I fail. That's not the case. Failures are the ones that fail once and then give up on their dreams and aspirations. You shouldn't do that. I mean, I hate having to talk about it, but I failed more than I would like to admit. But you're only a failure if you give up, because everyone at some point or another has to deal with adversity. Look at the most successful people in this world. You will find a story or two, maybe even a dozen stories where they failed or they had to overcome some form of adversity. So my advice to you, don't give up. Make sure that if you're going to pursue your dreams, you pursue it with 100% effort. And just know that there's going to be some bumps in the road, but your only obstacle at that point is yourself. You are the only one to blame if you don't accomplish what you set out to accomplish. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. Keep trying, keep overcoming, and you will achieve your goals. For those of you, another bit of advice, and I have a little bit of time, so I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. Figure out your support system. Hang around with people that are like-minded. If your friends are dragging you down, get rid of them. If your friends don't think that you have the ability to accomplish what you set out to accomplish, get rid of them. You do not need friends like that. Hang out with people that have the same sort of ambition as you. Hang out with people that are going to make it easier on you to accomplish your goals. Because if you hang out with people that bring you down, you will eventually be brought down. And that's just one more obstacle in your way to get to where you want to be. So, make sure that you select the right support system. Make sure that you surround yourself with people who have the same dreams and ambitions as you. Okay? Now, I want to end this video with a life experience of mine. So, when I was trying to get into law school, there's a test that you have to take. It's called the LSAT. All right? It's a test that you have to take in order to get into law school. The first time I took that test, I did terrible. It made me question whether or not I had the ability to go to law school and become a lawyer. But with a good support system, and I credit my mother and father for raising me, not raising a quitter, and for just giving me the support to continue on my path. And I know that for some of you, you may not be fortunate enough to have both parents, but if you have one parent, believe me, they want you to succeed. And I'm sure that they will support you once given the opportunity. So, failed the test, didn't do so well. I could have just decided to quit while I was ahead, but I decided to study every day for the next 6 months. And then when the test came around again, I made a score well enough to get into some law schools. And again, it all depends on how badly you want something. That's what it boils down to. Is do you have the character to overcome those obstacles? And I'm sure that all of you do. And a good way to sort of learn these things and to, I guess, sorry, I'm a little lost for words. A way that you can, I guess, support your dreams and your ambitions is to listen to the right people. You're going to hear a bunch of professionals speaking to you about their experiences. One person that you should be listening to right now is your teachers. Now think about it. Their success depends on how well you do. All right? And I promise you, they're not getting paid that much to do what they are doing right now, but they do it because they want to see you all succeed. So when they tell you something, make sure that you pay attention. If they give you advice, take it. It's free advice, and I promise you it is good advice, because they're not going to give you advice that is going to hurt your ambition. That's only going to be there to support you. So listen up the next time they tell you something. So I guess that's all of my time right now. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you, and I want to wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. And I want to just say right now, during this time, God bless you all and God bless your families. Take care.